When I first unboxed the Okinos Air Cross, I didn't expect much. But after building inside it, this case turned out to be one of the most unique mid-tower designs I've used, not just because of its look, but because of how it handles airflow. Before we go further, a quick note, this video is sponsored by Okinos, who sent the Air Cross over for review. As always, my opinions are completely my own. Let's start with the design and layout. The Air Cross is built around a dual-channel airflow system, horizontal for the CPU and vertical for the GPU, which you almost never see in standard cases. It comes pre-installed with 5 PWM fans, and right out of the box, it's ready for high performance builds. The power supply is front mounted, freeing up the bottom and rear for pure airflow, and it's a bold design choice, but it actually works really well. In terms of size, the Air Cross is a mid-tower case measuring around 468mm deep, 238mm wide, and 462mm tall. It's spacious enough to handle high-end hardware comfortably while still fitting nicely on or under a desk. The footprint strikes a great balance between compactness and build flexibility. Visually, this case stands out. The black steel frame, walnut wood accents, and custom Starlight power button give it a modern yet warm aesthetic. It feels premium but not flashy, which makes it stand out from the typical RGB heavy designs in this price range. Build quality is excellent, these steel panels feel solid, and the tempered glass adds just the right amount of polish. Now let's talk about the building experience. The toolless tempered glass panels, press to release front mesh, and magnetic top panel make it super accessible. Cable management is well thought out with 37mm of clearance at the front and 33mm in the back, plus rubber grommets and Velcro straps to keep things neat. I used a Ryzen 5 5600, RX 580, and a 550-watt power supply, and even with that compact setup, it looked clean without needing custom cables. The front-mounted power supply layout is unconventional but surprisingly effective. By moving it up front, the entire bottom section is open for airflow. It also makes cable routing cleaner, and the included 13A power supply cable extension supports up to 1300-watt units safely, so there are no compromises for high-end setups. Compared to traditional bottom-mounted designs, you get noticeably lower GPU temps and a cleaner internal look overall. Now onto performance, I ran Cinebench R23 for CPU load, and during the multi-core test, the CPU temperature averaged around 73.6 degrees Celsius with a peak of roughly 76 degrees. In the GPU stress test using Furmark, the RX 580 leveled out around 69 degrees on average, peaking at about 71 degrees after a 15-minute run, which are solid results for a case at this size and price. The vertical airflow really helps the GPU breathe, pulling cool air straight from the bottom mesh and exhausting it through the top and rear. Okinos' internal testing also shows up to a 5-degree improvement over the Li LANCool 207 in both CPU and GPU temps, confirming that the airflow-focused design isn't just for show. I also ran a 1-hour gaming session in Forza Horizon 5 to see how thermals held up long term, and the results were consistent. No heat soak or throttling, just steady performance. That's a big deal for anyone gaming or editing for long periods. As for the fans, you get two 140mm front intakes, two 120mm fans on the power supply shroud pushing air up, and one 140mm rear exhaust. They're all PWM and daisy chains, so you can control them from one single header. The front mesh is 1.2mm thick, allowing strong airflow without letting dust through, and there's a full magnetic dust filter on the bottom. I don't have a tool to measure noise levels precisely, but subjectively they're quiet when idle, and when running games or benchmarks, it gets a little bit louder due to how open the case is, but that's completely expected for an airflow focused design. Maintenance is easy too. The pop-up mesh panels, toolless glass, and magnetic filters make cleaning quick and painless. There should be no issues keeping it clean thanks to the fine mesh and filter coverage as well. The front I/O is simple but practical. You get a USB-C port, two USB 3.0 ports, a reset switch, and a combo audio jack, all positioned neatly at the top for easy access. The Starlight power button has a subtle white LED that feels classy rather than flashy, matching the case's clean aesthetic. If you are planning a higher end build, it supports up to a 360mm radiator up top, 180mm CPU coolers, and 400mm GPUs. The case supports ITX, MATX, and ATX motherboards, including back connect variants, which is nice to see. The motherboard tray is slightly recessed, which helps with both cable routing and GPU clearance, and if you're installing a 360mm radiator up top, it's best to mount it before the rear exhaust fan because space is tight once everything's in place. There's even an adjustable GPU support bracket to prevent sag, handy if you're running a big card like a 5090 later down the road. There shouldn't be many issues fitting larger GPUs either, as even triple fan cards have plenty of room to breathe. What I personally like a lot about the Air Cross are the smaller details that make a big difference. The included dust filters and the toolless design make cleaning super convenient and help keep airflow strong over time. Even the way the panels detach feels sturdy and deliberate, it gives the case a more premium, user-friendly feel that's rare at this price. Another thing I really appreciate is the long-term upgrade flexibility. Since it supports large radiators, tall air air coolers and GPUs up to 400mm, this case can easily grow with your setup. Whether you're running a mid-range card now or planning to move up to a 5080 or 5090 later, you'll have the clearance and cooling capacity ready to go. So who is this case exactly for? Well, if you want a clean, airflow heavy setup that also looks great on a desk, the Air Cross hits the sweet spot. It's stylish, efficient, and easy to build in, perfect for mid-range or high-end builds, or anyone who upgrades parts often and wants easy access without the clutter. Plus, it fully supports back connect motherboards, meaning it's ready for a true zero cable PC look right out of the box. The pros definitely outweigh the cons. The Air Cross nails airflow, offers an easy building experience, and looks far more premium than its price would suggest. The only downsides are the limited drive bay options and slightly tight cable space with non-modular power supplies, but those are minor trade-offs considering the performance and the design that you're getting. At launch, it's priced at $79.99, down from its regular $89.99 for a limited time. So if you're thinking about upgrading, grab it while it's on sale. I'll leave both the Okinos website and the Amazon link in the description below and also in the pinned comments. Big thanks again for Okinos for sponsoring this video and sending the Air Cross out early. Overall, I think this case sets a strong example of how airflow and aesthetics can work together without compromise. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.